No, it was the 13th inning, I think, if I remember right. Sure as hell, he hit, and it's like, oh, I can't feel my fingers. Oh, great. Get to first, and Hilly's sitting there. Don't be a baby.
The way you're getting on, I was waiting for St. John Ambulance to fucking come in. The game came to a halt. You're balling down the line. Like, holy fuck, it's late enough here. Let's go.
Ladies man, but I'm a man now. For courting 6 girls all at once they use me.
Bye baseball.
My mother said it was naughty, but I said if it's naughty, sure it's also very
And the Lolly drops his glove, grabs Dalton. The benches are clearing.
Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly is brought to you by Mr. Ned Custom Men's Suiting in New York City. Whether you're a professional athlete, celebrity, or just a couple of softball bums like us, if you're ready to ditch the old dusty suit and stop dressing like an animal, visit Mr. Ned, located at 137 5th Avenue, New York City, and tell Varm Hilly and Lolly sing. Welcome back, folks. Episode 36 of Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Hilly, we got another season in the books. We're back at it. End of September here now. What a season of ball. You just capped it off with another provincial championship with the Three Cheers Pub. Shout out for that. And we got a hell of a guest coming on with us tonight. A guy that's been talked about doing a lot of great things over the last couple of years with Ty Sebastian.
Yeah, Ty, man, he's fresh off a championship himself, the OCC championship in Ontario. But yeah, this guy has, in the last couple of years, taken his game to new heights and a new level. And, he's had a pretty wild journey himself. So looking forward to getting to talking to him.
Yeah. And what an amazing year this year. He really came on the radar last year with the pitching and the hitting, his performance in the championship Sunday at the Canadians. He's going to be a mainstay on Team Canada now for years to come, a force in the ISC. And what he just did, even though it was against us in the championship game of the Canadian senior men's, pitching 15 shutout innings against the Galway Hitmen to win the championship and the MVP. Can't wait to talk to him about that. Let's bring him in, Ty Sebastian.
Okay.
All right, Hilly, we got him. Recently crowned Canadian senior men's national champ and MVP, Ty Sebastian. Thanks for being here, Ty.
Thanks, fellers. Let's have some fun.
What's up, Seabass, man? It's been a summer for you prick.
Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it?
How's things right now in Brussels?
Well, it's a little dark out, but nice weather lately, and nice to be done ball, though. Shut her down the past weekend, and it's real nice to be taking a break now. And
I heard you're jumped in right into doing some lessons, some coaching and stuff.
Yeah, I just got a bit started tonight and roll into a 10-week program next week starting and go right till Christmas roughly.
What are the age groups on that?
I think it's right from U11 to U17.
See, how wicked is that though, Hilly? Like we talk about the wave all the time, and now other programs getting going across the country. You got stuff going with the twos out in Saskatoon. I know there's some things going on out in BC with Doug Allen and some of the guys out there, Mace. And now you got Ty doing his thing, Dallas Skipper, and those guys doing their thing. Some of the best players in the game giving back, and geez, no rest for the wicked. Long season over, and now you're right back into helping the next generation. That's awesome, man. Awesome. But let's start with the here and now, Hilly. We'll get it out of the way. We'll get out of the way right now. Friggin' Nationals. Ty, huge congrats, man. That was friggin' unreal. As shitty as it was for us, what a friggin' tournament for you, for the Toronto Batmen, just that organization. And what a championship game that'll go down in history. What are your initial thoughts? And then we're going to dive right into everything that happened out there.
I didn't think that game was ever going to end. Well, I know it wasn't going to end with me on deck because I was going to strike out again. So I knew that game was going to keep going one more batter if Mace didn't finish it. But no, it was definitely a good week out there. And all thanks to the Skeletons for everything they do for us. And I'd like to know if it was the first time, well, in recent years, obviously, it's one of the first to have the Masters and the seniors come from the same sponsorship crew. Be interested to see when the last time that happened.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Toronto Gators. I don't know if in 2016 the Gators won the Masters too.
We did at ISCs. We won ISC
at
Worlds.
ISCs,
And,
at ISCs, yes, but at the
ISC
Canadians,
Legends.
no. Because Hilly, when we won last year, Newfoundland finished second, right?
I think the twos won last year.
Pretty sure, Dean.
No, I would say, well,
sure,
regardless of whether it happened 100 times before or never happened before, it was a hell of a feat. But we also know how important the game is to the Skelton family. They've been sponsoring for forever. Cody and Andy done a lot in this game, and what I like about it was just the core group of guys. They seem to be doing it from the grassroots, and you can't help but feel proud and happy for that family and that whole team. So we'll go back and go through the game, but okay, the game didn't end till friggin' 1:45 in the morning.
We don't have enough time to go through the game.
No,
no. I'm only just getting up on sleep now.
But it's tough to go out and celebrate after that. What did you guys do though?
We had a couple in the parking lot. Well, obviously the beer tent was closed, so that we couldn't have a beer tent beer. That kind of was a downfall, but had a couple in the parking lot and then jumped in the vans, rushed back to the hotel. I think we got back there 2:30 or so, and then pack up to go to the airport at 4. Then fly out at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty well what we did, Lolly. Like same, we had like a 5 o'clock rise, and well, we didn't rise because we didn't lay down.
Rise. We stayed up. We got to do it.
Yeah, but a long old haul back home. Holy shit,
man. Well, just tired and like physically. I didn't play, but you're there. You're emotionally invested into it, and however long of a day it was. But geez, by the time you get home, you're exhausted. But the one thing I guess you could live with from the game is, like you said, you didn't think the game was ever going to end. You knew it was going to be something, right? Like at that point, it could be an error, it could be anything that leads to that championship. And the way it ended with the ball going to the gap, and what was the young fellow who hit it?
Mason McKay.
Yeah, like he came out like he was trying to score right out of the batter's box, and he wouldn't have scored if he didn't run as fast as he did. So you like to see a play like that when a guy is hustling, and you can tell how much it means. But when you saw that go off the fence and you saw him running, what were you doing after throwing 15 innings?
Well, I was on deck, so it was perfect. So I literally, I think I've watched that video of the inside the park for about 1,000 times now. Every time it looks like when we replay it, oh shit, I think we just did it. I have my bat in my hand, get ready to clean the box out, throw it, and I'm just waving them in, bring the hands back, and the ball's coming close, and he's about 10 feet from me, and I'm just telling him, get down. Doesn't matter if the ball's close or not, you're sliding no matter what.
Well, you got, I don't know what inning it was. We talk about this a lot. There's only a few left in the game that are number one pitcher on our team and bat, right? And you're the best hitter on that team as well. And you got in, I don't know what inning it was. You got plunked in the pitching wrist or arm or hand or something, and then got to go out. And obviously it was unintentional. But how was that?
Well, at least we got on base side. But no, it was the 13th inning, I think, if I remember right. Sure as hell as you get hit, and it's like, oh, I can't feel my fingers. Oh, great. Get to first, and Hilly's sitting there. Don't be a baby.
The way you're getting on, I was waiting for St. John Ambulance to fucking come in. The game came to a halt. You're balling down the line. Like, holy fuck, it's late enough here. Let's go.
That's how you get a breather. Gotta create your own delay.
The good thing about those games, man, I was saying this to Sean and a couple of guys who were in our dugouts. So we'll come back to you in a second. But you look at a guy like Sean Cleary. You've seen him do it year in, year out since 2010, pretty much, right? He's been since 2011. I think he's pitched in every single championship game for the year that he didn't go, right? And he threw a 7-inning no-hitter for the first game of the day, and then came and threw 15 innings against you guys. And it's not so much to pump his tires as we do it all the time, but you need to do those things to, those are the games and the pitchers and the opportunities that make legends and make legendary stories. And you became one of those in your own right, even trumping what you did last year, but to be able to get it over the hump in a 15-inning game, like every inning after the 7th in the championship game against the Galway Hitmen, that's how you become a legend in the sport. Has it sunk in what you did in that game? Because it's going to go down in history, in Canadian senior men's fast pitch history, is one of the best games ever played and one of the best pitching performances. Has that sunk into you?
No, not really. The only thing that's really sunk in is that we did it, that we just won. That's the only thing that's sunk in that game still. It was just one of those ones you keep grabbing the ball and go until you can, I guess, is what I just kept thinking. And it might sink in a little while down the road yet, but still just felt great just being on the mound against Sean in that situation, going against him toe-to-toe for 15, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't just that game either. It was that whole day. It was just a long-ass day. Like, I don't know, might as well get into it now, get this shit over with. But like, so 2 games had to happen before you found out who you're actually playing. And then you finally get 3:00, I think it was, the championship game started. And then I think we're an inning in, maybe top of second, maybe, and she opened up, started pouring, and then, geez, then we were off till 8:00 at night, I think it was.
Yeah.
8 or 9 or.
Yeah, because the top of second, I think it was full count on Blair, because Blair was at the plate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
just trying to keep the ball dry. And next thing you know, one to the screen, one in the dirt, one he fouled off, one in the screen, and the umpire goes, "Can you hold it?" Well, no. It's like if we keep going, someone's going to get either hurt by a ball off the side, or the umpire's going to get hurt himself because no one really. I couldn't hold on to the ball at any time at that point. No. And then they kept saying, "Oh, we're going to reevaluate in an hour. We're going to reevaluate in 20 minutes." And we finally just went back to the hotel, which was nice.
Yeah, because I think it was. I mean, we all wanted to play in the daytime, and it was well known to all the players that the lighting wasn't exactly the best at that facility. But yeah, I mean, it was just. I mean, we had played 2 games at that point, and then we were kind of thinking, we were kind of on 2 minds. Well, maybe we get a rest, but like it's, we were just rolling. We were rolling at that point, and kind of wanted to keep going. And then, I was wondering how the pitchers do when you're warming up, and then. Then you pitch 1 or 2 innings, you got to stop, and then you wait. I guess it's no different than, I don't know, coming in relief for a game and then having to pitch a night game. I guess I don't know.
I think that delay was the best thing that happened to me, especially. I didn't think I really had it before the rain delay. Then went back to the room and did a bit of put a ball in the wall and just worked some knots out, and the arm complete. No, I didn't do that. Crossed the line, but
I'm just joking. We wouldn't do that.
Just loosened up, and it was a totally different mindset too when you went back. And that first pitch, I remember on the at bat against Blair, and it's like, okay, this feels a lot different, and I think we're ready to go now.
Yeah. Was there anything going through that championship game that you drew on the experience from the championship game the year before? That was a long day. And road for 3 games for you guys to get to the finals last year. You threw a lot of innings. You put a lot of, you wore a lot of pressure to get to that point. So you kind of sharpened the sword by going through that experience. Was that something you were able to draw on and maybe the later innings, or even get prepared for the championship game this year?
I think the Sunday last year really got me prepared for playoffs this year, more or less. Those real tight ball games last year, because I think last year we played was it Newfoundland 3 first, the team that Pomeroy was on. We beat them 1-0 with Quiche, I think.
NTV Hitmen, Newfoundland number 2.
Okay, it was them. We played them to a tight game, and then that just got us rolling, and we beat Stompers pretty big, and then that you guys beat us. But yeah, I think I threw the same amount of innings in the finals that I did on Sunday last year.
Yeah, and you got hit in the arm last year too, didn't you? In
Yep.
the semis. I remember you saying that you got hit in the pitching arm.
If I were you, I'd start taking that personally.
I might just not hit. Or just put a guard on that arm, I guess.
Yeah. Sean had an AB this year. Sean wasn't that bad. He got one. And he hit it right to the fence, sack fly, scored a run. He just missed a home run. He had that one at bat. Remember, Love?
Yep.
I forget who was against, but
that's what he does, man. If he gets in there, he's swinging. So anyway, congratulations to you. Congratulations to the Skeltons. And congratulations to Ontario. Now, what else can we talk about? Brussels. Let's talk about Brussels. We talk about it all the time, man. And I think you're another example of it. Small town. That's where the hotbeds are across the country, especially in Canada. So, what was it like? Did you grow up playing fast pitch? How did it all come to be for you? And we'll get into kind of like your junior and that road to where you are now, because we talk about it all the time. As I said, you're one of those ones who does it the right way. But where did it start? How did the game come on your radar?
Yeah, I started playing here in town, and it was either Squirt. Yeah, likely Squirt. And then just followed all the way through, and we just had local stuff. So it'd be, like local league kind of things. You play the small communities around, and then trying to get better ball, you had to leave town. Played with a town Blythe, which was about 15 minutes from here. And then OASA, we didn't have that option here in town. So we had to go out to town again for that, and started in Teeswater, and then worked our way around to Blythe. We got our own team the following year, and then in midget went to Sebringville, and then the Red Devils after that.
So yeah, just looking at your resume here and some of your awards and championships. So obviously you won Canadian champs in your U19s. Was that Sebringville? That's midget? Is it?
That was midget with Wyerton. My first year with them.
Wyerton, and U21 Canadian champs as well.
Yeah, we were the same team pretty much for 3 years with Wyerton.
Nice. So when you get to that level and you start winning Canadian championships and stuff, and then obviously you get calls and you get scouted by Team Canada. So how did that all come to be for you? Your first taste of Team Canada, I guess it would have been the World Junior team. How did that road?
So it was literally after Canadians in 2012. Our Canadians were first or second week of August. I can't remember the dates now. And then we rolled right into camp, I think on the Monday. So they had everyone in Canada anyway. I believe Canadians were in Owen Sound that year anyway. So we ended up just everyone going to Kitchener for the week. And then we had camp Monday to Friday. Then I think the team he made phone calls Sunday night to who all made it. So fortunate to make that team in 2012 to go to Argentina. And then I think we got 4th place down there, I think.
Must have been pretty cool to get that call and get to go travel internationally. Yeah, that's a pretty cool place to go. I've never been, but you talk about internationally places to go with an international event where there's a great softball environment. Argentina is one of those places. But when you finally got to get down there, put the jersey on and represent the country for the first time, what did that mean, and what did it do for your outlook on the future in the game?
It meant a lot, because that was every kid's dream is, if you're playing hardball, your dream is to play for the Blue Jays. And really for softball, the highest that you can get is the national team. So that was the goal. And when you got down there, we played Argentina in the first game in the tournament. And they had 8,000 fans just hooting and hollering, dancing and noise. It's like, is this really what we're dealing with? And kind of get distracted a bit just from the sideshow. But no, it's definitely a great atmosphere to play down there. And it was awesome to put the colors on for the first time in a hotbed like that down there.
It's a pretty wild atmosphere, man. I got to say, I've been there twice now in Piranha, and it's actually unbelievable. Like the fan base and the atmosphere around the park, especially when you're playing Argentina. Like I say it all the time, it's like a soccer atmosphere. You got the drums and they're singing, and there's fire or smoke going on. Like it's wild. It's crazy, man. We actually we were playing there one time. We had a mascot run in the field mid-inning, run right out to Cleary in the middle of the circle.
Was that alligator, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Juan was talking about.
I think Mason grabbed a hold to him and took him off the field.
Oh, geez.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. But because I remember when I first really heard your name and then got to see you play, and you're very raw. And I mean that as the biggest compliment it could be. You're in there not trying to be anybody else. Grip it and rip it. You know, if you chase a ball out of the zone, that's fine. But you're in there to hit the ball hard. I don't think that part of your game has changed in the sense that every time you swing the bat, you're trying to turn it into a cube. But you could tell that the natural ability was there. And then, Jesus, he can pitch and he can play wherever. So just as a player that was playing the ISC, playing on Team Canada, you're always looking at who's on the way up, and you were on that radar for sure. One thing I was interested in knowing, when you're young and you're that good and you're making Team Canada and you're winning these U19, U21 Canadians, do you get picked up on weekends by some of the bigger ISC teams? Is that how you got your feet wet, or was it more stick with a core group and gradually make steps along the way? How did you get into the senior circuit?
At the start, really, I was playing more. My first ISCs, we actually won the U21 Canadians. We left the Sunday night after winning. I went down with the Wyatt Nationals in the same car. I was playing for Midland Emerson Aces, so I actually got on with them, with Kyle Crawford. He got me on with them.
Oh, yeah.
So we played them, and then we ended up winning the twos that year. But yeah, that was really my first experience, and really it was go to mostly with our midget team to midget or junior teams, go to men's tournaments. Not really picked up by big teams yet, and then unfortunately I couldn't go to ISCs in 14 because it was junior Canadians. But then 15 got on with the drillers. So.
Same time. I remember the Northeast Drillers, wasn't it? Was that Hackett's team?
Yeah, in 2015 it was.
Yeah, I remember. I'm sure we faced you guys at the ICs that year. I'm sure we did. Kyle Crawford pitching.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Quad Cities, right?
Was Quad Cities back-to-back years?
Probably. I don't know. I've been there 25 times. Feels like.
Because I know 16
I'm pretty sure
was Quad Cities.
Yeah, no,
so
14 was in Kitchener. 15 was in where was it in 15? I don't know. I think it might have been Quad Cities back-to-back.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll just say this.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, it was. Sure. But it goes back to that formula we talk about, man. You went down when you're 19 years old with a team that, Wyerton, or who was the team you went with for the first one? The Midland.
Wyerton. Oh, for the ISCs, it was Midland Emerson Aces.
Right, and you're going down, and then you get. That's why that ISC2 is so good too. Especially for young guys that are cutting their teeth on a team where they're playing, right? You're not down there sitting on the bench, but then to the drillers, and you're playing every single game, right? And it's a step up to the next next year, because there's a lot to be said getting experience just going to that tournament, being around it, navigating the week long, how the schedule dictates. Win or lose, where you're going to play, getting into the twos or staying in the top bracket and going through that. That's a lot of experience. If you can get that at a young age, especially when you're playing, not just sitting back and taking it all in, and then getting noticed not only by other ISC teams, but national teams. And Hilly, how often do we talk about it? That's the way you build a strong foundation.
Absolutely. Ty, did you ever get to a point or feel like you were going to get to a point when you were first getting in the IC where you'd have to make a decision between pitching and hitting? Because I feel like really. Because I feel like a lot of kids who are, really good junior pitchers, but also really good hitters, they get to the IC, and sometimes, they feel like they might not be at that level, or they might not be able to get to that level. And, sometimes they try to define other positions. And I felt like I was at that crossroads when I was 18, 19, 20 years old myself. So I always felt was pitching always on your mind, that you were going to be a pitcher at the end of the day, or
so at the start it was more hitting and fielding, and I just did the pitching on the side, just local stuff at home and our local men's leagues and stuff. And then it's only been the last couple of years at ISCs I got to pitch, really.
Right.
Because there's always before that it was just, I guess it's in the back of your mind too, where I always look at hitting, the pitching side of it, people pitchers only pitch.
Yep.
Where I still want to hit. So like I really didn't pursue the pitching side of it until lately, where I could still have the option of still hitting. Was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, because Lolly alluded to it earlier. There's only a handful of top pitchers that are also top hitters as well. You being one of those people now, of course, but
we just lost one of them, right? We our last guest with Cheese, and I do want to take a second to acknowledge his retirement from the ISC. Say huge congrats to him on an amazing ISC career, and to go out on top. Cheese, I know you're listening to this. Congrats, buddy, and here's to the next chapter for you and all the Hall of Fames you're going to be going in. But he talked about in his episode, hitting was his favorite part of the game.
Right.
But he also recognized that sometimes your arm is a little bit more valuable when you're surrounded by all those sticks. But it's tough to take the dog out of the fight, so to speak. You're never going to not enjoy hitting. And but a lot of your teams, Ty, have been built around your stick in the 3 and 4 hole or the leadoff spot in some of these teams. So it is not even as though there's many options of taking you out of the lineup, because a lot of the hitting lineup is built around you. But I love it. I think is one of the coolest things in the game is seeing a guy go out on the mound. And how many times have we seen it? You go throws a 1-0 blinder and hits the home run to win the game, right? It's they're few and far between. So I think we gotta encourage more to pitchers to keep hitting if they enjoy it.
Absolutely,
makes it fun.
But when you started getting your teeth are cut now, you're probably in 15 with the drillers, and then you made that jump to when did you get on with the would have been the Hallman twins, then the Gators, then the Batman? Is that the way you progressed?
Drillers, Gators, Twins, Batman.
Oh yes, because in 2016, that's when you were part of the Gators. So yeah, what I got written down is the jump to a top level team. So to go 3 years cutting your teeth, getting used to the tournament, and then getting on with that Gators team who went on a fantastic run in 2016. What was walk us through.
That was Quad Cities. 15 would have been South Bend.
There you go. I got two of them mixed up anyway, but what was that year like, and then go to the ISC and take that down as the guy that has been working your way up to that point. Just walk us through that year a little bit.
So it actually started in 15. So I was with the Drillers or whatever, and the Tavistock tournament, I think they had a few players that were missing for the Gators. So I got asked to go play with them in the Tavistock tournament, and we're playing or whatever. And I can't remember who we were playing the Batman, actually. Sean threw a perfect game against the Batman. I ended up hitting a solo shot off Quiche. Jack literally meets me at the gate and goes, "Okay, son, you're playing for me the rest of the year." I just go, "Holy shit. What do I say?" I'm like, "No, I can't. I've got commitments with another team." And he's like, "Okay, well, you're talking to me before you do anything else." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." We're playing the Sunday morning. We play Scarborough. Pretty sure, I can't remember if it was Corey pitching or Andy. Just can't remember now for Scarborough. I had a 2-run shot, and same thing. Jack meets you at the gate. "You remember what I told you, son, yesterday?" "Yes, sir." Like, good. I was like, "Oh, better not piss him off." So that's how that ended up coming to fruition. Was once the year was over, waited till he made the text or the call, and that's how I ended up getting on with them. So it's kind of a funny story thinking back at it now, but
yeah, those are how the breaks happen, though. That you get an opportunity to get called up. You made one weekend, you can make such an impression that changes a lot of things. If you don't get called up for that weekend, or you don't play well, he's probably not meeting you in the gate saying, "Come with me this year," or "You're going to be with us next year." And those are the stories that I love hearing, because there's opportunities that come up and a guy says, "Yeah, I'll go. I'd love to play with you," and go out and make the most of it. It's any young kid that's trying to make their next jump up here, if you get opportunities like that, say yes. Try and make them work, and then go out and give it your all. And that's not just on the ball field. Give it your all in the dugout, making relationships with these teammates. So that's awesome. And then good on Jack for living up to it and calling you. So
Yeah,
that ISC was, that team was loaded, but that must have been pretty cool to be a part of that playoff run, and that championship game was unreal.
Yeah, that one I can say was on deck now for 2 walk-off home runs in finals.
There you go.
We can say
that we were on the other end of it. So.
So I can still remember Shane hitting that thing, and it's going. It's like, yes, we just did it. And his arm went so high up above his head with the fist bump. It's like beating him at home plate. That was just a relief to end that game. So that was, I think, in the 10th inning too.
I don't know.
So do you remember?
No. I think that the winners bracket final game against you guys went 9 innings. That's when Wayne hit the home run off Pablo, I believe.
I thought the final went that long too.
It was definitely bottom 7, maybe bottom 8. I don't know.
Okay, I can't remember.
Hilly knows.
Neither here nor there.
It was a long game, and it was it was one of those classic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Hill United. At that point in time, there's really, over that era, there was Hill United, Gremlins, Gators, and you had Jarvis / the Hallman team. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome. You had guys that are right in the prime of their career, and the ball was unreal. But that was a 1-year kind of stop for you. You went in, and then the next year you went on with the Hallman twins, and things you've been kind of a true to Ontario career in the ISC, in the Canadians. Has that been something that's just been conscious and an effort made on your part, or is it just how the cards have kind of fell with opportunities?
I think it's just how the cards have fell, really. Never really thought of it. But it is a nice way, because that Ontario schedule we do have here, every tournament within 2 hours of the house makes a big difference when you just drive. When you're done on the Sunday night, pick the car up, drive right home, instead of having to go catch a flight or this and that. But that Ontario circuit is very nice, especially living in Ontario.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for saving all that travel too. I mean, you are literally in the hotbed. You got the Hallman tournament. You had that was the Legends tournament. You had that Tavistock tournament, the Mitchell tournament. Sure, it's all right there. I don't know how far all these are from you, but if a couple hours, you're home in your bed if you want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
the furthest one's the Simcoe, the Hill tournament's the farthest, and everything else within an hour.
Yeah. There you go.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk about the senior team Canada. You got on, when was it? There's a couple of stories. We're down in Argentina again, right?
Dominican.
Dominican. So was that your debut with the senior team at an international event?
Yeah, at the Pan Am qualifier. Yep.
The Pan Am qualifier down there. That's when you got to see Hilly's base running skills for the first time, was it?
That was phenomenal.
I didn't even do anything. I know exactly the story you're going to talk about.
The lead off.
There was no lead off.
Foot came off the base.
What did you think of it, Ty? Because he's gonna dispute this eyeballs appetite. Hilly, is that the one where you got into it umpire?
No, I made 0 attempt to go to third base. My feet probably came off the bag when I went to readjust my feet. It's fucking true.
That's 100% what happened too.
Like it wasn't even, the ball wasn't even thrown at this point. I was looking at signs, and then pitcher took his sign. Then I adjusted my feet to get ready to go to third, and they called me out.
Okay, I believe you. And I know you're right. I was watching it. Ty, the purpose of the story is not to grill Hilly on his base running prowess or lack thereof. It's more like, did you know Hilly very well at this point, or was it kind of new territory? Because he gets friggin' fired up at the umpires, and I did not want to know if that was something new for you experiencing with Hilly, or is that, at that point, did you know him very well?
going into the tournament, well, not really going into the tournament, didn't know him that well yet. And then got down there, and he definitely made it a lot easier on a young guy like myself, opening and getting included in the team and everything like that. But definitely a first time seeing that side of him. It was hilarious. So we're like, what the hell's going on from the dugout? It's like, what did he do? There's no pitch thrown. Well, we thought it was funny at the time, but then it's like, well, that kind of was a big run.
Because then he threw the pitch, and then I went back to the bag, and then the play was just not continuing, and I was like, what's going on here? And he was like, this little umpire, out. And I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean, out? So,
didn't you give him a push?
No, I didn't push him. I fucking wanted to, but no. I didn't know he spoke English. So I thought this guy didn't speak any English. So I'm going up and down him using the few expletives. I'm like shouting at him. And then all of a sudden he goes, "Are you done?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not done." At this point, I'm looking over his shoulder because I'm running out of adjectives to call him. I'm looking over his shoulder. I'm like, I need a coach out here. Like, why is there no coach here to separate us? Right? So then I'm shouting at him. And anyway, through the jigs and reels, I was ejected.
And your old man came to help you.
We won the game. And then that was that.
Sorry.
Did
Hilly,
you get a game for that?
Yeah, sometimes you get.
Well, yeah, that's that too. We didn't know that part. So the next game was against somebody, I don't know who it was, and we're there, and I don't know if I was batting second or what. The game was starting, and I had my helmet on and my gloves, and then the umpire comes over and says, "You can't play." I'm like, what is going on down here? Like, what exactly is happening? It's like, what do you mean I can't play? You suspended. Okay. Very good. Carry on.
Just because on this topic of not knowing that the umpire spoke English, there's just a funny side story. It has to do with the Toronto Batmen and me. So I didn't know. I thought, okay, basically, Denny Benson. I thought he was Francisco Lombardo, and so he come down the first and he get a walk or hit, and one of my bad habits is I start talking to people in their English accent to them. I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And he just nod like, "Good." And then how's the family? Good summer. And he's just yeah. This goes on for like 3 or 4 times playing. Like, I guess we're not playing with any announcers, and then finally, like, how's everything? He said, "Oh, good, Lolly, man. How are you?" I said, "Jesus, you're excellent at English."
Funny.
And then sure enough, I find out it's Denny. And yeah.
That's
So anyway,
funny.
just a side story. Okay, so you're down there. You can see Hilly get kicked out and all that stuff, and that was the first crack in the senior jersey. And then the next, let's fast forward to this past go around, because I really love this story. It kind of hits close to home for me with my first major event. So team was picked. You weren't initially on the roster, and but very, very close to being on it, obviously. And then Devo couldn't go, and you get a call last minute after having an amazing season, and you get called to go. A lot of emotions are wrapped up in how that all comes to be, right? So I know on the back end, just from talking to you, kind of how you handled that, but just let our listeners know how was that whole experience of that year was like for you leading up to the tournament, and then getting that call.
I was after, especially Canadians, with at the end of it when the team was made, it was kind of tough just not being on it, which is whatever. It was a tough decision, obviously, and on the coaches, there was a lot of good players that year, but then basically shut down for. The worst of it is, you're not thinking you're making it. You shut down. You don't bother doing any training because your year's over, and you get a call middle of October. We had a guy back out. Can you come? It's John Stewart gave me a call, and like, absolutely, I'll cancel whatever I have on the go. I'll be there in a heartbeat. And then it's like, oh shit! Now I just got to do 2 months worth of training in 3 weeks to get ready for this tournament, because we leave in 3 weeks. was a pretty whirlwind experience, just trying to get ready to go to it. And once getting there, just settling in. But yeah, it was definitely a whirlwind. A couple months after that phone call, that's for sure.
Yeah. How about your pitching debut against South Africa? I believe. Did you have any pregame jitters or anything like that, or anything you had to take care of before you took the mound?
Well, there was a couple. I'm pretty sure there was a garbage can involved, and no, that was. I remember the first game. We were playing Venezuela, and Stewie goes, "Ty, go warm up." I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? It's 4-3. Can I go and warm up?" Whatever. I think I just had a chicken sandwich on the bench. Next thing you know, he tells me I go right to the can and I'm spewing my guts out. And he goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Go warm up. Didn't need to go in anyway, but I'm like, he's like, "Were you nervous?" I go, "Oh, it's just a little." But yeah, a couple little throw ups there, that's for sure, and get the nervous jitters out and then have some fun.
Well, I suppose it was fun to come out and throw. It was a no hitter. Was it? It was a no hitter, a perfect game. Yeah, no hitter versus South Africa. You know, your pitching debut with Team Canada. You're coming in and late edition, get the ball and go out and throw a friggin' no hitter in the Team Canada jersey. We're talking about handfuls of pitchers. There's only handfuls of pitchers can say that they did that. And yeah, man. So when you got there, was there any feeling? And this is more for some younger players that may have the opportunity you had to follow. Did you feel welcomed as if you'd made the team early? What was the adjustment? Was there any kind of reservations like, I'm here because someone backed out? How was the transition into the team? Because it's kind of two-sided, right? The team needs to be there to bring you in and make the environment welcoming, but you also need to be able to go down there and be ready to play. You're not just there to take part. You got to be there ready to play. What was getting into the groove of joining the team and being ready to go?
On the team side, they were all pretty welcoming. It was really good that way. And basically everyone just kept saying, "You're here for a reason now. Don't worry about how you got here. Just put your head down, do what you got to do, get ready. When you go in, you go in." And my expectations when I went down was, I'm going to be a guy coming off the bench. Whatever role I have, make the most of it regardless. So just for the experience alone, it was a lot more than I thought I was going to get. That's for sure.
Yeah, and again, just to point out the importance of versatility when it comes to national team, because you're playing on a team full of the best players on their own respective teams. I'm pretty sure you played some second base, you played some outfield, maybe some DH, and you pitched. So I mean, it just goes to show. And I tell the young kids all the time, like, just spread your wings a little bit, dabble, play here, play there, right? And when it comes to versatility, it's a huge asset when it comes to making provincial teams, Canada games, and obviously national teams.
No, 100%, especially with that the roster dropped down now to 16 for the national team events. Like, right. It does make a big difference if you can do multiple things now, especially with that roster change size down, because it was used to be 17, wasn't it?
17, yeah.
So yeah, versatility is the big thing now. If it's down to 16, there's not many spaces left over. When you think if you got 4 guys that only pitch, there's only 12 spots left, or vice versa, right?
Yeah, and a lot of teams now are just taking 3 guys that are pitcher only, and then some other guys like.
Yeah, well, when you build a team when you're building based on 17 players, is that one extra player okay, are you going to take a 4th pitcher? You're going to bring a backup middle infielder. You're going to bring the versatility guy who can catch, play third, play right field, DH. Are you going to bring a DH or not? All these.
Are you going to bring a runner or not?
Are you going to bring a runner or not? When you go from 17 to 16, it changes so many things in terms of how you're going to construct your lineup. And bang on, Ty, with if you can be a versatile guy that can play outfield, pitch, DH, play the infield, are fast and good on the base pass. They're so valuable now, probably more valuable than they've ever been in the game on the international level. So, as you said, Hilly, for the guys that are looking to make that as their next career move, becoming more versatile and staying fit and being able to do a lot of things, those are going to present a lot of opportunities for some people. But now that this, it's been a whirlwind couple of years for you. There's a few players in the game across the world that are really coming on the scene. You're top of that list. We've had a couple of the other guys on. You got Quentin Bruce really making his stamp on the game at a high level. Blaine Milheim and some of these guys. So I'm sure there's a lot of confidence now and experience gained heading into next year. What's your plan for the off season? What's the plan for you next year? Any decisions made on that you're able to share? Are you still kind of mulling opportunities over at this point? What's your outlook?
Back with the Batmen again for next year, especially with just off-season training. Really, just keep throwing more. Maybe get a little sooner, get into it a little sooner. Take obviously a break, but no, back with them again, and it's only right to go back. And obviously, we got to defend our championship, so Canadians, we got to defend that one.
Well, I'll bite my tongue.
Oh, come on. What are you going to say?
I'm not going to say nothing. last time I chirped a guy, I said, buckle up, Jack. He struck me out like 8 times in a row. So fuck that. I'm going to say nothing.
That's right, Hilly. See, you're wise. You're a wise man, right? So that's Batman for everything, right? ISC Canadians. Yep. That's awesome. But just talking about the ISC, so we'll give a shout out to the Luciano and the Premier Softball TV for sharing all these rumors and guys on the move. A lot of shakeup in the ISC this off season. It's exciting, man. It's I don't know. I find it entertaining. I find it engaging. Let's just chat about the ISC goings on. Hilly, Falkard's going over with Bear Creek. That's a big move, right? You're gonna probably get a new roommate out of it. He's not a bad replacement.
I'm just reading the rumor mill like you guys are.
Oh, it came out today, didn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'll get caught up in all the rumors as if they're true. They could be bullshit, but I'm saying they're true. There's no fact checking on this podcast, so I don't know. Are Niagara Stompers? There's not a rumor they're staying together, but going to a different city.
It sounds like that.
I think it's back to the Drillers.
Yeah, Northeast or whatever you guys were called. I think that's what I heard.
It's back to them. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, it's going to be another. Regardless, it's going to be another interesting ISC season. A lot of moving parts. Some good players changing teams. The Gremlins seem like they're. I don't know. It's going to be a similar looking player group, but on Championship Sunday, I'm sure. But it may be Bear Creek, the Chiefs, the Gremlins, the Batmen. The top 5 or 6 teams that are all going to have a chance on Championship weekend. You're going to see the same familiar faces, which are cool. I'm sure a few newcomers like what Jack Besgrove did this year. It's pretty cool to see brand new to the ISC and being able to go out and perform like that. So I'm excited about next year too.
Especially in BC, it's a little different there.
In Surrey, in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah,
they got a little. I think they got a little bit of work to do before before the ICs. But facility wise itself, it was beautiful. My first time out there, it was unreal, beautiful. Yeah,
well, I was listening to the broadcast for the ISC games. They had the guy who's in charge of the host committee for the ISCs next year was down there taking it in at Circle Tap. I think he was working with Darren Derricks, just learning a lot of things, working with the ISC on how to do it. And then they had a lot of experience running Canada Cups out that way, but then got to learn a lot of things this year with the Canadian Championships right after that. And I think it's going to be a fantastic event. It's great to see it back in Canada, a different part of Canada. It's been, been in Ontario for the majority of Canadian ISCs for the last number of years. So that's going to be awesome. But so you're going to be doing some off-season training. I know you're doing that. You're reffing still?
Yeah, getting into it a little bit here in the next couple of weeks, and then do that for a bit and play a bit of hockey maybe on the side.
You play it?
Man,
like
I was
senior
thinking
hockey or
about
just
this
like
all.
pure league
Oh
stuff?
no, straight pure league.
Because I was thinking about this. I wrote it down, actually. I said, you would have your friggin' hands full if you were friggin' reffing against old Hilly there. Right? Like, just Thursday night hockey, pinching from the point, chippy, chirpy. I'd pay to see you reffing. Like, what's your, if you can just visualize what Jason Hill will be like to ref against, what would be your approach to keeping him in check?
Well, there wouldn't be one because he always whines about everything. First off,
Not true. Carry on.
and that'd be, oh, I didn't do that. Well, you did. I see how he treats
Oh my
umpires,
God.
so I can only imagine
You sound like
getting worse.
You sound like Keogh. Sheldon Keogh. He's I don't know, the referee version of the umpire in chief here in Newfoundland, or he was anyway. But that's kind of the way he gets on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the new rules. It's hockey soft now. I use the old rules. I use the old rules. When guys like Semenko and stuff, we're still playing.
The fun hockey.
But I heard, I'm not sure who was talking about it. It might have been on a broadcast, might have been on your podcast on Outside the Shoot. Do you got aspirations of working your way up within the OHL, and is reffing a hobby, or is this something that there may be some next steps and growth opportunities for you?
No, just nice to do on the side. Something to do. Keep me active, really. I knew I wasn't a good hockey player, so keeps me involved in the game somehow. So I don't mind doing what I'm doing. Junior B, Junior C. Get out and about. So no, basically what I do now is pretty good for me, I think.
That's wicked, man. But we were excited to get you on and chat with you the last couple of years, what you've done coming on the scene. You're just true to how you've always been. You do it the right way. Just a loyal guy, hardworking guy, doing it for the boys and going out and no freaking quit, man. It was great to see you come away with the championship, even though how much it hurt for us to lose. You can't do anything, Hilly, but tip your cap. It's great for the game, great for Canadian softball. Putting your province Ontario on your back with the Skeltons this year. It's hats off to you, buddy, and really appreciate you coming on and getting to chat with you, getting our listeners to know a little bit more about you. Really appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, fellas. But I got one more thing for you.
Give her.
Hilly, this is a question for you. So in the finals, what was the little incident between you, Heidi, and the umpire?
He can't. It was just Hyde because he was a nuisance, and I don't mind saying it. I'm going to tell him next time season 2. He just kept telling the umpire, watch his back foot. So then the umpire makes a mark where to move, and I said, Kevin, I'm fucking 4 inches in front of that mark you just made. I said, now fuck off and let me bat here. And I told Hyde to shut his mouth. He was probably laughing. I don't know.
I'm sitting on the mound. And it's like, just get in the box. What's going on now?
I was ready. It was your catcher. It was your catcher. I was ready.
I thought I had to ask you what was going on there.
Yeah, no, that was that. But anyway, Ty, no, I just want to say, man, last couple of years has been a pleasure watching you play and do your thing on the field, man. I got to be your teammate in New Zealand and this past year at the ASAs with Bear Creek, so it was fun being your teammate as well. Don't know if it'll happen again, but no, I just wanted to say, man, congratulations on all your success, and you certainly you're making big strides in this game, and proud of you, seeing how far your game has come. So look forward to playing against you next year, buddy.
Thanks, Hilly. Thanks, Ollie, for everything you guys do for the game with the pod, and keep it going.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers, man.
That's awesome. Before we sign her off, Hilly, some DustUp swag has hit the market. Yeah,
some more.
We got. We're going to be doing another run of hats and shirts, some limited edition stuff coming up. So keep an eye out on social media for that. Ty, you'll get yours as a newly crowned guest of the podcast.
Sweet.
We'll get your hat. But it's great to be back on the podcast, Hilly. It's been a great season. I look forward to the off season now because we get to do more of this. And yeah, let's keep it rolling for the off season. We got Lucas and Nick here. A little bit of Rum Ragged to take us out.
Get out of here! I told you, Mr. Drama.
I used to be a ladies' man, but I'm a man now. For courting 6 girls all at once, they used me.
Say bye-bye baseball!
My mother said it was naughty, I should take some years back. But I said if it's naughty, sure it's also very nice.
And the Wally drops his glove grabs Dalton. The benches are clearing.